Before we get started with the lecture, 8th grade math, Algebra 1 and Geometry, make sure to put these notes on the page I told you to in your composition notebook. The rest of the classes, just add them to your regular notes. So, properties of 0. A plus 0 and A minus 0 equal A. Oops, that's supposed to be a 0 here. If I add or subtract 0, I just get back to the original number. Next one is A times 0 is equal to 0. 0 over A with A not equaling 0 is equal to 0. I'm going to write it equals 0 if A is not equal to 0. And the last one is A, well, next to last one, A over 0 is undefined. You are not allowed to divide by 0. That's one of our primary rules. And the last one, I'm going to give it a name. It is called the zero product property. And you will be using this in Algebra 1 and beyond to solve more complicated, well, I won't say complicated, equations other than linear equations. You will be using the zero product property. And that states if A times B is equal to 0, then A is equal to 0, or B is equal to 0. An example where you're going to use this in Algebra 1 or beyond is if I have a multiplication problem that is equal to 0, either the first part of the multiplication problem is equal to 0, or the last part of the multiplication problem is equal to 0. And that is how you will find out, or you have already seen, we end up, if I multiply these two things together, I get what you're going to learn or have already known, a quadratic. This is how I end up with my two solutions to those quadratic equations once I have it in this form. So these are the 5 properties for 8th grade Algebra 1 and Geometry. Make sure you have these written down. In Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 and beyond, this is where I get my multiple solutions from when I start to solve our polynomial equations.